Change is changing, and according to Ray Kurzweil of Singularity University, the rate of change is happening exponentially, and we are likely to experience 20,000 years of change in just this, the 21st century. Hi, I'm Gail Sturgis of Talent Align OD. In the past, this is how we have viewed change. We have viewed it as linear, one step after the other. The patterns may be complicated with circles and curves, but the progress is still linear. And the way that we have set up projects was also linear. We had one team doing the setup, the analysis and the design, and then another team doing the implementation. The theory was, if we do this, then that will happen. And it did, but only 30% of the time. Change today is more like this. Change is entering organizations from a variety of sources: technology, economic environment, competition, customer preferences, employee preferences, and more. And each change impacts different parts of the organization. Change is no longer a single event to map out and go through, in spite of what all the popular models lead us to think. In most organizations today, change is complex, continuous, transformational, simultaneous, interrelated, and unpredictable. This kind of change is defined as a series of overlapping, never-ending, planned and unplanned changes that are interdependent, difficult to execute, and either can't or shouldn't be ignored. What does this mean to you and your organization? It means that success at complex, continuous, transformational change requires more than initiating multiple single change efforts and hoping that they will work out. We can't simply hope that critical overlaps will be resolved, that the right resources will be available, that parts of the organization will not become overloaded and individuals won't burn out, and that changes will align rather than conflict. These are the greatest threats to succeeding in managing multiple transformations simultaneously, as I'm sure many of you have already experienced. As David Michel said in his article, Change is Changing, Coping with the Death of Traditional Change Management, published in Forbes. Traditional change management, as we know it, is obsolete. Even the very notion that change can be managed feels absurd given the reality and pace of business today. The intent of business executives to deliver results more sustainably and quickly remains the same, but the context in which organizations operate today is fundamentally shifting, and so is the way in which we should think about change. Our solution is Holistic Change Facilitation, a unique combination of Agile, Neuroscience, Lean Change, and the OKR Framework, connected through our collaborative and facilitated processes consisting of our Holistic Change Pyramid, our Lean Change Facilitation processes, and the OKR Framework. This is our Holistic Change Pyramid. We build from the bottom up to create sustainable change. Using neuroscience and neurocoaching, we start with changing habits, mindsets, and how we think and work with each other so that the organization is better prepared for the new tools and processes that are being introduced. We start with the fundamental elements of change: trust, engagement, and psychological safety. Without these, leaders will have difficulty in getting people to align with the change. The capability elements are communication and collaboration. Communication is the process of sending and receiving messages, and collaboration is when a group of people come together and contribute their expertise for the benefit of a shared objective, both critical for success and sustainable change. The enablers and drivers of change are the technology and processes that are driving the need for change, and everything in the pyramid below can, and usually does, impact the culture of the organization. And the outcome of any change should be improvement and making the organization more effective. And this is how we do it. We start with discovery. What is the challenge, the issue, the problem, the bottleneck, and what's causing it? From these, we develop insights into what needs to change. The insights are further developed into options with a business case and priority. And from these, we select an option to try out in a controlled environment or pilot. What we learn from this is fed back into the system in a continual process so that it forms a continual improvement process that doesn't cause major disruption, but rather becomes part of the standard operation of the organization. We use the increasingly popular OKR framework for execution strategy. The OKR framework has 3 parts: cycles or cadences, which are annual, quarterly, monthly, and weekly. OKRs, which consist of objectives, key results or outcomes, initiatives, and retrospectives, and CFRs, which are the conversations, feedback, and recognition that enables continuous improvement. And these come together to make up the superpowers of the OKR framework, which are focus on what matters and results, alignment across the organization, commitment to priorities and results, measurement and accountability. Remember what Peter Drucker said: what gets measured gets managed. Stretching but not overreaching. Holistic. It is the only framework that encompasses both cultural and operational capabilities. And these together are why the OKR framework has become the most popular goal-setting and execution framework used today. And finally, this is the team. It's me from Talent Align OD, and Amelia Sternberg and Shirley Poole from the Neurobusiness Institute. The Neurobusiness Institute offers bespoke personal and professional training and development to leaders and teams in organizations to ensure the fundamentals of trust, engagement, and psychological safety is embodied in the culture and mindset of the people of the organization. At Talent Align OD, we work with leaders to set and achieve their most audacious goals, turn mission into action, and create an ongoing discipline resulting in execution and results. And we have solid experience in business, technology, and people. Together, we aim to set your organization up for success in an ever-changing environment. As you see, you're in good hands. The people involved are highly qualified in all of the areas that we touch on and have the experience to match. And these are my contact details. Please feel free to contact me to assist with any questions or queries that you may have.